For centuries we were chained. They told us to find freedom, and still we broke the chains. Faith was tested in the fire, but the journey turned from bondage to liberation, and we sailed home to the rising sun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What it do, yeah? What it do? What it do? It's the Honorable Junns, not a Bantu or a Jew, but an Alkebulan Kidnapped that's ready for the get back. Welcome back to the Redeem or Destroy podcast, where we deal with facts over beliefs and awaken the minds of the kidnaps worldwide. Yes. Round of applause for that. Round of applause. And tonight we're gonna dive deep into today's headlines that's going to shock the culture. But first, hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me put this up. I want it nice and beautiful for you guys. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay. Now let's continue. Tonight, we address what got the Hebrew Israelite community on fire. Yes. Druski dropped a skit mocking the Hebrew Israelites, and the internet lit up. Now, before I proceed, I want you guys to know that this was my son. Shout out to my biological son. He sent me this text early Saturday morning. Excuse me, Saturday in the AM. He sent me this, and underneath what he sent me, he said, "Dad, this used to be you," and it was beyond funny, right? Now, not only was it funny, but in reality, to a degree, it also was very true, right? So, yes, the internet lit up. Some laughed, some clapped, others said, nah, this is crossing the line. Yes, crossing the line. Now, I'm not here to defend religion, especially this Hebrew Israelite doctrine, community, camp, ideology, philosophy. I'm not here to defend it. I'm here to expose where mockery becomes propaganda. Because when a black man puts on a purple robe and imitate the brothers on the corner preaching scriptures, that ain't just comedy. That is calculated imagery. Okay? Yes. But this is not mocking. This is trying to show people exactly, you understand, exactly how you guys look on these corners when you invade people's privacy, when you invade people's work site, when you invade a place for people to worship. When you do these things, all it do is just shows your true colors, which is purple and gold. And in the Bible, they also talks about the purple and gold. But anyway, let us continue. See, in this skit, guys, Druski represented the care culture of the Hebrew Israelite. Loud, overzealous, over the top. He's using humor to make you laugh, but also make you question their legitimacy. Okay. Are they legit? Are they really God's chosen people? Are they really the children of the book? Are they? Right? This is how media has always played us. They take a movement, twist it, laugh at it, and feed it back to us as entertainment, right? And again, I am not here to defend this ideology. I'm here to show you how society is literally making a fun of the foolishness that these brothers are claiming to be a part of them. Okay. Okay. So let's go back in history from the Black Panthers, to the civil rights marches. They found the media, found a way to mock, destroy, and minimize the real message. And now, fast forward to today, you got these Hebrew Israelite organizations who's mocking not the word, not the message, but the connection that Black people had not only with their ancestors, but their Alkebulan roots. Okay, the same playbook is being used again. Okay, when we was in captivity, these people gave us a story. Now here we are in 2025 trying to break out of captivity. They have now trained Black people to keep us locked in, chained into a philosophy, a religion, a belief that none of these dudes can prove. They can't prove absolutely nothing. For my sister who tried to connect me to a brother, now this is solely for you. I want you to know that this brother made a bold claim that not only not only do he know and know the people that had the Ark of the Covenant, he also stated that they have the remains of Moses. This is beyond the hardest claim I have ever heard in my entire life. Now, I don't know about you guys, but from what I've studied, for what I've read, the Ark of the Covenant is literally a holy power source that, when opened or unleashed, everything that every one and every one individual, nation, country, whatever you want to call, everyone gets handled because of that. Okay? And now, with a brother making such a claim like that, my question is, how come the Ark of the Covenant has not been opened and unleashed to put an end to the misery that's going on not only in Africa, but in America, in Haiti, in Jamaica, in Trinidad, in England, in Germany, in France, all the areas you can imagine Black people are being in? Why haven't this covenant redeemed the people? Okay, so the question is, are they even scared of the Hebrew Israelites? See, they're not scared of the Hebrew Israelites screaming on the corner. They're scared of what the message could spark if people start listening, and not listening into, oh my God, I'm part of the 12 tribes. No, start listening and start paying attention and say, wait, hold on. This is the same story that Charles C. Jones gave my ancestors. Wait, hold on. This is the same ideology. This is the same beliefs of those that's literally put in society in these circumstances that we are in right now as we speak. This is, again, this is the facts. This is not my belief. Hold on. Hold on. Okay? This is this is not my assumptions. These are the actual facts. It's going to lead brothers and sisters to question. But when you do make that transition to go see the information that's being brought forth to you, please, you cannot take the information for face value. You have to do the eternal, I repeat, the eternal investigation. You have to go deep down the rabbit hole. You have to know, okay, where did this ideology come from? Who was the first people to teach it? What's their background? Who are they connected to? This is how you're able to connect the dots. I'm going to play a video for you guys in a few. But right now, as we speak, the objective is to literally pay attention to the story that's being told. Okay? Because once the kidnapped realize who they are, that's when the control collapse. I repeat, once the kidnaps who you guys are, you are a kidnapped individual. According to them, you are stolen property. I repeat, you are stolen property. But once you realize who they are and who you are, that's when the control shall collapse. Let's be clear. Druski is a comedian. He does what comedians do. But look at what goes viral and what doesn't. Look what goes viral and what doesn't. Mocking the Black struggle, the Black identity, the Black awareness always get boosted. But exposing the real European system of the deception is shadow banned. Telling brothers and sisters that this ideology that you guys are claiming to be you can't prove it absolutely nowhere. Whether it's in America, whether it's in the Middle East, whether it's in Africa, you cannot prove such allegations. Because in order for you to prove such things, the first thing that you will have to do is show us where are these characters of the Bible? Where are they located? You must also show me the original manuscripts before the Biblos. Every historical information that has been given unto the earth does not go back past 1700. 1700 is when these informations is being presented to the world or being compiled or being supposedly found. Remember, you was enslaved in 1611 beforehand, actually, because we're not going to forget about the Arabic slave trade. We're not going to forget about the Arabic slave trade. But when you see all this information that's being presented to the world, they'll always trace it back to 1700s. You see people be like, oh man, we just found the book of Enoch. It can be traced back all the way to 1700s. But Enoch lived before Christ. Enoch lived before David, Solomon, Abram. All these characters, Enoch lived beforehand. And when anybody tried to justify the story of Enoch, they like to go to the biblical perspective of the Ethiopians. When again, the Ethiopian Bible was put together by a European. His name was Gaba Germison, who was a Byzantine king, who denounced his position after 7 years. Even that alone makes you question what is being told. Everything is always 7 years. He denounced his position after 7 years, decided to follow his cousin and become a Christian monk. And from that moment on, this man started giving us all of this ideology, all of this philosophy. There's a story of him, the son. He wrote all these books in 7 to 14 days. And within those times of him writing, he reached out to the gods, and the gods didn't allow it to be hot for a very long time. For 14 days, it wasn't hot. Now ask yourself this question. What man in the right state of mind of color would even care that it's hot or not? Your skin can withstand any weather. True word. So if a man needed the sun to be down for 7 to 14 days, is he really a man of color? Huh? Is he? We keep letting our oppressors laugh us back to sleep. We keep allowing these people to continue giving us another religious wrench. Okay? Let's get it. Let's just call it for what it is. Let's call it let's get the factual. The Hebrew Israelite movement is a monolith, okay? You get different camps, different doctrines, different level of understanding. It's always something different. Nobody can stand together and agree. But according to what these brothers is teaching, they will tell you that God is gathering the lost 12 tribes. But in order for you to be accepted, you must accept that camp or organization. You must follow their doctrine. They will even go as far as telling you that the other camps are not the original ones. The Christ is not coming from that church, because according to the book of Revelations, Christ is supposed to be coming back for a church, not churches, not camps, but a camp, but a church. This is not me saying this. This is literally in the book that you guys are reading. Okay? But at the end, it's the same rhetoric. It's the same loss to identity. It's the same loss to a heritage. It's the fact that they're using the same religious tactics as a weapon to enslave the very people they're claiming to save. They're using the same weapon to enslave the people they were claiming to save. Okay? Hebrew, Jew, but that's not your heritage. Your identity has nothing to do with the Khazar. The Biblos is not a book of black people. It's not. We have to stop the lies. We have to stop the lies. It is not a book of black people. It is a book to justify the genocide and the enslavement of black people. You can believe whatever you want, but the facts is right there. Not only is it in the book, but it's manifest right now. And every time you see a Hebrew on the corner, you know this is another lost nigga right here. And I know, listen, I know for a man that was associated with this, I know why you guys join. I know why you guys participate. Is because when you was told your entire life that you was nothing more than a slave, and the only book you was allowed to read was the same book that we're talking about right now. The moment you get an opportunity to connect to that story. It makes you feel more of a man. It makes you feel comfortable standing in front of a European, an Arab, a Chinese, and tell them, I am not your slave. I am a Hebrew Israelite. It's easy because you get to claim onto something. But the harsh reality, people, that this story is never about you. It was never about you. David was not a black man that was raised in the wherever they say he was raised, wherever they say he was ruling. It's not a black man's story. The entire Biblos is not a black man's story. Everything that you see in there was guaranteed interjected. It is not a black man's story. My apologies. Where was I? Yeah, it is not a black man's story. In order for you to prove that it is a black man's story, you must first show me actual body samples. You must show me the character's DNA, and that DNA particle must match your actual DNA. So until that is conducted, there's no way you're going to tell us that we are the so-called people of the book, when in fact the people of the book, or the black people in the book, was slaughtered, enslaved, and still being slaughtered and enslaved, all in the name of your God. Okay? And now what's being mocked is not the clothing, not the street preaching, but the awakening itself. You see, these guys wanna do everything in their power to take you away from your spirituality. Everybody is receiving a spiritual awakening. Everybody on the face of this earth. Everybody is receiving a spiritual awakening. But you got the handlers, you got the paid agents, you got those that's claiming to be brothers and sisters, but their actions so different. Their criticisms, their invasions, their butchering of the so-called word, saying things that only makes them look superior. When I'm saying the things that make them look exactly who they are. And I believe in Isaiah chapter 28, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it Isaiah 14? It's in one of those where it's basically warning you about those that's coming in purple and gold, the deceivers. Their own book tells them about themselves. So when Druski imitates that, whether international or not, he become a tool of the system. Because now every time someone's seen an Israelite brother supposedly speaking the truth, the world will laugh instead of listening. Okay? The world will laugh. Because even when I seen it, it was funny. Even when I showed it to the Wiz, she found it funny. Just like my son found it funny. Just like everybody that's awakening and realizing what religion is doing finds it funny. But we can't afford to laugh. What meant to liberate us? We can't afford to laugh. We gotta build. We gotta separate. We gotta divide ourselves from those that refuse to let go of this ideology. An ideology that they would never be able to prove, ever. And when they know that you are somebody that can't be broken, they like going to that favorite Jesus verse. You can't cast pearls amongst the swine, dust your feet off, and proceed to the next. That's what they do. He is condemned already. Oh no, I am very condemned. I am condemned to my ancestors. I am invested to the creators. I'm not invested to a God that they told you to follow. They told you to worship. I don't care for a Yahweh. I don't care for a Yahweh. I don't care for a Yahshua. I don't care for none of that. I care for the Ogun. I care for Ulamari. I care for Modimo. I care for Ogun and O'Shea. These are the people that I care for. And all the African deities that dwell amongst the land is the only people I care for. I don't care for a story that we can't trace back. I don't care for a story that was literally given unto us. I'm gonna play. Matter of fact, I've been doing too much talking. Let me play a video for you guys. Hold on. Check this out. Check this out.
Black man! Black! Black man! Black man! That's right! That's right! That's right! That's right! That's right! That's right! Black is proud! And white man will beneath. You will not perceive to be a sister.
Galatians chapter 6 and verse 7. Be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
And the reason why I wanted to start off with that one was because in Galatians, they give you this precept. But in the book of Galatians, it also tells you that everything that we are reading when it's pertaining to the Biblos is allegory. Now, for those that don't know what allegory means, you should go look it up. That means it's not real. I repeat, it means it's not real. But we overlook what's being said because we was told that if we disobey, this was what's going to happen. You are going to be condemned. You will not enter into the gates of the kingdom of heaven. So let me ask you a question. So the brothers and sisters that didn't submit and lost their lives because they rather keep their culture, are they now condemned? Are they not burning? Did they not get entry into the kingdom? Oh, my bad. That ideology of entering the kingdom comes from them. While they told you that your kingdom is to come, while you're waiting for a kingdom, these people are wreaking everything, pure havoc all throughout the world, kicking you out your space, digging up on your land, taking up on your gold, eating up your food. This is worse than the three little pigs. This is worse than the three little bears. Not only are they laying in your bed, not only are they digging, eating your food, not only are they taking away your woman, taking away your man, not only are they doing that, they're doing it and they say, nigga, I wish you would. And then told you, listen, man, this is prophecy that's happening. That the other nations, us, will be above you. And all you have to do just wait. All you have to do is wait your turn. Jesus will come in any minute now. Jesus will arrive at any minute now. All you have to do is sit back and wait. And he that endureth to the end shall be saved. Meanwhile, the people that gave you this story is not enduring absolutely nothing. They're not waiting for absolutely no one. This is facts, guys. This is facts. So let's keep it 100. All of these Hebrew Israelites approach is off. Some come too hard, too aggressive, and all come out too judgmental. This is what they do. This is what I used to do. I used to street preach and stand on these corners and tell brothers and sisters, this is what's going to happen to you. Tell my loved ones, this is what's going to happen to you. You become judgmental where you remove yourself from certain individuals because you don't want to be associated with this so-called wickedness. But mind you, before all of this so-called witnesses were seen towards your friend, your loved ones, you stood by their side. They stood by you. You embraced their company. You embraced their love. What went wrong? What went wrong was a religion. Okay? Because when a European world enslaved you, rape your ancestors, stole your language, your name, your spirituality, aggression is a natural response. This is a fact. But our response is what we are not supposed to do. Our response is to literally follow the blueprint, guys. What is the blueprint, Junns? The blueprint is actually the tactics and the tools that was used by the Haitians to set themselves free. This is facts. This is facts. And what I'm saying, they're gonna call it hate speech. They're gonna say, oh, he's a racist. They're gonna say everything. They're gonna throw the bots out there. They're gonna throw the algorithm off. They're gonna do everything in their power to remove what's being said, to remove the facts of what's being mentioned. This is what you guys are not paying attention to. They call it hate speech. I call it the generational awaken. They try to heal itself through knowledge. Knowledge of self is the number one thing to break free from the PTSD, the post-traumatic slave disorder, or the PTSS, post-traumatic slave syndrome. The only way we're going to break free is to know thyself. If you can't prove that you came from Israel, I'm talking about archaeologically, I'm talking scientifically, I'm talking about physically. If you're unable to prove that, you need to take a seat. But here's the funny part. They feared the awakening, but loved the intimidation. They love to see things funny, but they don't like when it's factual. They love to see us wearing costumes, but they don't like us being consciousness. I want to play another video because this is what these brothers are saying. Check this out. What's going on? Hold on, guys. What the heck is going on? Hold on, guys. The nonsense that I be talking.
A few people sent me a message about Druski's most recent skit about the Israelites. And do you think it's a coincidence the brothers wearing purple and gold? I don't think so. But when you go through the comments, people are saying the Israelites, oh, they're going to be mad. Oh, you open a can of worms. You don't know what you started. Now, we're not mad about it. Nobody's mad about the skit at all. The brother's a comedian. But the Lord is using this brother to bring people into the truth, because people are going to visit the website. People are going to stop by, want to inquire about what we're teaching. So we're not mad about the brother at all. You can visit us at israelunite.org, and I'm going to put it in the description box. But I want to read a scripture. 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 8. For we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. So the Lord is using this as an opportunity to bring more people into this gospel. So no, we're not mad at the brother at all. We hope the views continue to go up so more people can be.
No. I'm sorry. No. What you guys are seeing is, when you read the comments thoroughly, you will see that brothers and sisters are fed up. I got sisters saying, I was just trying to praise my Lord, and here they come attacking us, saying that God don't hear our prayers, but God hear your prayers though. I'm gonna play the Druski video in full. Let me play it in full. Hold on.
Black man. Black man. That's right.
Oh no, it's not this one.
Black man. Black man. That's right. 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 Receive this word, white man. That's right. That's right. That's right. You celebrate Christmas, don't you, brother? Yes, you do. That is a white holiday. White holiday. Black power. Black is power. Black is power. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Black is power. Black is power. Oh, man. Brother, can I speak to you, please, man? Lost another one. Do you feel this is right? Yeah, it's my girl, bro. Boys, you need to come join us, bro. That's right. You need to come join us. That's right. That's right. We are not equal. We are. That's right. Our ancestors did not live for this. That's right. Poison. Poison! 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 You will not stop our brothers or sisters from the Constitution. That's right! That's right! I'd rather be in the cell than to be in hell. That's right! Free man! Free man! Free man! Free man! Free man! Free man! That's right! John and Lorinda chapter 16. That's right. A white man will beneath emancipated souls. That's right! That's right!
How can I help you, sir?
I do not need help. I will assist myself. What form of payment for this, please?
Whatever is easy for you.
Is it because my skin is black? We out here bringing our people back to the law, statutes, and commandments, man. We
All educational purposes, YouTube.
You are not a sister, and you will not proceed to be a sister.
I'm sorry.
That's right! That's right! That's right! That's right! That's right! Who is your master? Who is your master? What y'all doing after that? Is that the party or something? What's your name in fantasy?
Morally.
Bullshit.
You thinking
hell? That's dope.
So that was the actual video skit from front to back. And again, it is hilarious. It is hilarious because this is true. Now you're gonna find these brothers that's trying to find a way to use the facts of how they look and how they be acting and try to use it as if God is really using him to lure people in. But in reality, God is just our ancestors and our creators is just showing the world the foolishness of these brothers, the contradiction of each other. I should go look for the 12 tribes, one of the originators of this 12 tribes chart, and he will tell you that the Native Americans and all of this shit that they put together was all lies, that it was literally a fishing rod to lure people into their church, to build a church so the people that started it can end up living off it and literally live a life like these pastors. If you ask these people, what do their elders do for a living? They're going to tell you absolutely nothing. All they do is preach, come on the internet, come to certain events, become a spokesperson, you get their PC, and they disappear. This brother that's part of the head of this IUIC, this man used to be a cop in New York City, a detective. In order for you to be a detective, not only do you have to take a test, but you also have to have a high arrest rate. So this is a man that was claiming to be a Hebrew, but also was arresting and locking up his fellow comrades. Now you're telling me God is with that man when according to the Biblos, it is forbidden for anybody to take an oath unto God? You're not supposed to take an oath in the air down below. And when you join the police force, it is mandatory for you to join the police force and take an oath. Excuse me. It is mandatory. Yes, you have to take an oath. Do you solemnly swear to uphold this badge and et cetera, et cetera? I know. I have relatives and family members who are police officers. I know. But I'm not mad at them because they're not here to lead people to a story that none of them can prove. And when I mean none of them can prove, not a single person, whether they're on the top echelon or they at the bottom, none of these people can speak, read, nor write fluent Hebrew. None of them. These niggas been in this so-called truth since 1998. We in 2025. Some of you guys have been doing this for 30 years and still can't speak no Hebrew. And still can't speak no Hebrew. Mm-hmm. So this is the difference between being entertained and being enlightened. Druski's skit is a symbolic. It shows how easily our own people will mock the things that don't make sense. It's easy to laugh at your brother than to learn from him. Yes, but it depends on what we are learning. If we're not learning 1 + 1 = 2, then you're teaching me lies. And this is what these brothers been doing. They have been bringing forth lies. Let's go back. I want to play another video for you.
Black man! Black man! That's right! That's
Now,
right! That's right! That's right!
Check
How do
this
y'all
out.
expect us to feel bad about Druski's recent skit?
You celebrate Christmas, don't you, brother? Yes, you do. And it's a white holiday. We out here bringing our people back to the law, statutes, and commandments.
Hey, let's see what the Bible has to say. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20. It says, "Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil." A lot of y'all are upset with us. A lot of y'all want us to feel bad about doing what? Going out and teaching the true gospel to our people. Who are our people? The Israelites. You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Hey, but you'll say nothing against all of this.
I mean, we can't say nothing about all of this because all of this is not being forced down our throats from the minute we came off these ships, sir. You're literally feeding them. You're basically saying the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But when you do the DNA study, we don't have a single connection to none of these so-called people that you're mentioning. Like I said on my Instagram, and if you're following me on Instagram, I appreciate that. If not, make sure you follow me on Instagram. What I said was, right, that when you take the DNA, you check the DNA of the Native Americans, the Native Americans' DNA goes back to Asia. The Hispanics that you guys are claiming is our brothers go back to Spain. Goes back to Spain, Rome, Bulgaria, yes. Yes. That we are not the same. And black people, you know where you trace your lineage to. You know where you trace your DNA to. So how is us having different DNAs? We had the same daddy. And our daddy DNA, because according to what you guys said, the man, the seed comes from the man. So that means genetically, everything that's of that man goes into another child and another child and another child. But we carry no similar DNAs. Not only do we not carry the same DNA, but these people that we're claiming is our relatives was violating you at one point. Was violating you at one point. In fact, some of these people are still violating you right now. Sudan being violated, the Congo being violated. We talking violation of violations. Okay? So that's the real tragedy here. When we were slaves, they laughed at our chains. When we fought back, they laughed at our pain. Now that we are trying to awaken, they laugh at our claims because we're claiming to be something that they told you to be. Nobody is tracing themselves back to their Alkebulan spirituality. Nobody's not even attempting to go back to the Alkebulan heritage, culture, etc. They're not even trying to do that because you have been brainwashed from the very beginning that going against God of the Biblos or Jesus of the Biblos, you are going to hell. You are condemned already. When people are not doing their homework to do the investigation, to see that not only was this a lie, but it was really told to keep us under their control. Because like they tell you, uh uh it starts off spiritual before it gets physical. That is a fact. So laughter has always been their weapon. And what keeps handling them that ammo is our beliefs into their gods. Is our belief into their culture, into their heritage. Whoever told you that they stole it from us, I want these people are flat out liars. Because according to the scriptures, we shall be awoken in the very end, where we will start knowing that, hold on, not only are we the Hebrews, we supposed to be keeping the commandments, but also we supposed to gain the understanding of reading, writing, and understanding Hebrew. And some might say, well, my brother, the reason why you don't know it, is because you was uh, 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 you broke the commandments. You was a man living in sin. You wouldn't have purity in your heart. So my rebuttal to that is, okay, fine. So granted, we didn't have purity in our hearts. But what about the newborns right now that's being born in a house full of law, statutes, and commandment keeping individuals? How come they're not getting the drift of this Hebrew? How come? You guys have to make these things make sense. How come? I'm gonna play one more video and then I'm gonna gracefully bow out because it is getting late and it is past my bedtime. Okay?
How do y'all expect us to?
Now, a few people sent me.
Black man! Black man!
Uh,
Black man!
Hold on. I put on. Oh, damn! That's all the videos. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that is all the videos. That is all the videos. Damn! I thought I had another one. I know I have another one. I guess I forgot to download it, but again, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Again, people, the true awakening will never be anything given unto us by the enemy, bro. If you believe that the Biblos is our story and the devil can't change everything or etc., you are beyond lost. You are part of the problem. Okay? These are the people you telling me that they are not allowed to change all words, but yet they was able to get to little children, get to innocent women. Listen, there's stories right now when you read of what these Spaniards was doing to the Taínos. There's documented information that will tell you that these people was essaying children as young as 9 years old. This is what they are. So when I hear brothers and sisters say that we are connected in some way, no, we're not. No, we're not. And making these bold claims, you have to provide bold information. And if you're unable to provide that information, it is very important for you to take a seat, because we can't afford to deal with any more confusion. This is a fact, guys. We can no longer afford to deal with any more confusion. Okay? Okay? We no longer can deal with any more excuses. And I want you guys to know this is not about Druski. This is about our identity, imagery, and influence. And as long as we allow the awakening to be reduced to a joke, we will keep being the punchline of our oppressor. Okay, guys? Remember, it is facts over beliefs. And you must always, and I repeat, always respect your DNA. That being said, brothers and sisters, matter of fact, let me see if you guys got some questions. Is there any questions you guys would want to tell me before I DIP? You know what I'm saying? Before I dip, you're any questions? Do you hold on, wait. Wait until they tell you about coming to get them. Listen, look, man. All I know is these brothers are going to stand on the corner, give you a story, tell you that Messiah is coming, give you another story, and are unable to prove absolutely nothing, guys. I'm telling you, when you go down this rabbit hole, you will find out that not only did the characters not exist, but all of this so-called historical event never happened. David did not fight no Goliath, guys. There was no Goliath in the first place. There was no David in the second place. There was none of these things. Solomon had 500 wives, 500 wives, and nobody, and I repeat, nobody can trace back those 500. Those 500 with all those children, because I'm sure he was slapping everything. If he's a black man, he will be slapping everything. You can't find nothing. We listen, they told you that the lineage of Jesus was gonna come through David. David had Solomon, so that means Jesus came out of Solomon. So who was where this which child of Solomon's? Child, which one? Where's the child of Solomon? Huh? Lucas said that you are as lost as the rest. Lost how? Explain to me how I'm lost. Tell me how I'm lost. Explain to me how I'm lost. Am I lost because I don't accept your God? Am I lost because I won't accept your God or the philosophy that your race gave? That's why I'm lost. Then so be it. Let me be lost. I'm already lost in a land that's not mine. I'm already here. You already put me in a place. You won't allow me to leave. You won't allow me to be left alone. I might as well. I might as well be lost. I might as well be lost, guys. You see, this is what these handlers do. You see, when you don't accept their ideology and their philosophy, they demonize you they demonize you in a way to make you feel like, you see, this is why you're in no laws. How? To this one, how much they paying you to act like a fool? They not paying me to act like nothing. I'm telling you the facts. You don't like the facts? You don't like the facts? If listen, if I'm lost like the rest, so then guide my path towards the right way. If I'm acting a fool, show me how I'm acting a fool. Provide me, because matter of fact, answer these questions. Let's answer these questions. Show me exactly where anybody in the big blows was buried. No, how about this? I'll make it even easier for you. I'll make it even easier. Are you able to show me where Delilah was? That was Jacob's daughter. That girl was only mentioned one time after they, essayed her. I don't hate on Druski. Druski was actually funny. I don't hate on Druski. I'm not going against what he was saying. Matter of fact, I'm showing you how me and Druski see you guys standing on these street corners looking super stupid. I'm not hating on Druski. I think Druski is a phenomenal man. I think it took a lot of courage for him to stand up to this so-called supreme cultist power called the Power Rangers. I'm totally in agreement with him. I'm not going against what Drewski's saying, because Druski is making fun of the foolishness of these men that stands on these street corners that can't prove nothing. You guys are claiming to be a Hebrew Israelite, but nobody can speak Hebrew, bro. You guys are claiming that brothers and sisters need to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, but none of you niggas is keeping the commandments. You want to know how I know you're not keeping the commandments? Because according to the Biblos, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1, it says what? If you shall hearken unto me and do all that I say and keep all my commandments, then you shall be the head and not the tail. Why you guys are still the tail? Is it because you're not keeping the commandments? Or is it because you're not keeping the commandments? Of course, I'm not an Israelite. I thought I was. Until you find out it's not true. You're not an Israelite. An Israelite is a religion, a race of people that was created by Europeans. None of you black people can prove that you are an Israelite according to the Biblos. You can't prove it. You have no DNA proof to show that your DNA, your blood traces back to any character in the Biblos. Don't give me Deuteronomy chapter 28, because if you want to go there and say, well, Lord, it said that we're going to be accursed because of disobedience. Okay, so what about those that's not being disobedient no more? How come they're not being saved? How come they're not becoming the head? Not even, and we're not talking about being the head of the world, but just being the head of everything. You know, having a nice house, having a nice cars, having their children, everything up to par. None of these things. Trust me, I know the only people that I've seen with my own two eyes that has reaped any benefits of this so-called Hebrew Israelites are the ones that started these congregations. But the bare regular people, you know, the guys that stand on these street corners preaching, none of these guys have anything to show for themselves. Nothing other than street preaching, other than knowing all of these scriptures. Damn, you know all these scriptures, bro, but you can't speak Hebrew? You know all these scriptures. You read in front to back from Genesis to Revelations. But when it's time for you to say, hey, my brother, look at what this sign says. Can you tell me what that says? Nah, my brother, I don't know. So how are you claiming something that you don't know? How are you claiming something you don't know? You're claiming something not only do you not know, you also can't prove. Nobody can prove that they are a Hebrew Israelite. Based on, nah, my brother, we was in captivity. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68 said we're going to be in ships. You know the Irish people was in ships too? You know the Irish people, you know there was a lot of Europeans that was put in ships, right? You guys are aware of this, right? Now, is putting in ships, is it going which way? Because there's people that was taken from America that was sent into Europe. They was sent there in ships. There are those that was in Africa that was sent to Europe. They was being sent in ships. So how do you know that the story is about you? So if there's confusion in that, the only solution, guys, is to do what? Actually dig up an actual character of the Bible. Doesn't matter who it is. It can be Jonah, it can be Judas, it can be Judah, it can be Levi. You have to pull the actual body. Take a substance, whether it's the tooth, whether it's a piece of hair, whether it's anything. Go do whatever you do with the DNAs like you at the Murray show, right? And then you guys also hand in your DNA, and we're going to see if your blood or your DNA matches it. And don't say that these people have it, because if they had it, trust me, they would have took their DNA samples and match it with their DNA samples. And if it was not true, they would have still lied to you. There was no conversation of that having. You know why? You want to know why? Because maybe the story never existed. Maybe the story never existed. Maybe an Exodus never did actually happen. Because if an Exodus happened according to the scriptures, you guys was walking 40 years. Round and round, round and round. So you walk 40 years. And yet nobody can show me a burial where all these people, remember, when we went into, I'm going according to what they teach. Remember, when we went into Egypt, we went in there 70 souls. When we left a multitude. So these multitude of people was having children and after children, because according to the word, they had to walk around 40 years until those people died off, and then the children went in. So where was these people ever located? You said it's a cult. Hey, listen, it can be whatever it is, bro. It can be whatever it is. I'm not here to say what is a cult, what is this, what is that. Because to be honest, bro, all religion is a cult. anything that was forced upon you by force, nobody can prove what I'm saying to not be true. Was not Christianity and Islam forced upon black people? Yes or no? They're going to tell you yes. And if anybody tell you no, they are a liar and they're lying to themselves and you're committing sin. And because of your sin, according to the Biblos, you are hellbound. So why would we even want to listen to somebody who's not even truthful and being honest? Just be honest. Like, yeah, bro, yeah. My beliefs, my religion did this to black people. I'm not gonna deny that, but it's still not gonna take me away from my faith. I will respect that more than somebody that says, you don't know what you're talking about. That is not true. Jesus would never do that. That's where the issue is. You see, religion allows you to lie for the greater sake of your belief. That is not righteousness. That is hypocrisy. That is wickedness. That is evil. That is the reason why your religion is the number one religion in the world, but you see the condition of this world. Oh, my bad. It has to be like this so Jesus can appear. But what happens when Jesus does not appear? Then what? I'm not here to tell brothers and sisters what color Jesus was. Who cares what color he was? This is according to what they say. It doesn't matter what his color is. It's about his word and his message and how he was teaching. Okay, cool. Jesus was telling brothers and sisters that you're supposed to have the strength to heal. Follow him and you will have the power of healing. How come nobody is healing? Why when the pandemic took place, why there was no Christians laying their hands and taking the COVID out of people's bodies? How come you didn't have that power? How come you guys aren't saving the little children? The little children. It's the Bible says you better off not offending these little children. You better off jumping into literally committing suicide than offending these children. Where was the protection for these children? Where are you guys? Where are you guys that give all your tithings, thousands of dollars to these churches? Where are you guys that don't miss a single sermon? Where are you guys? Where are you for the children? Where are you for the black and brown community? Where are you when you see our black women shaking their ass, acting a fool? Where are you to lay your hands on them and remove the demon that's on them? Where are you? Huh? Let's talk about it because a lot of people is gonna say that I be wilding. I'm making fun of Druski. I'm not making fun of Druski. I thought it was hilarious. My son sent me that. He was like, yo, dad, this used to be you. Early in the AM, I seen it and I had to just bust out laughing. I showed it to my wife. She started busting out laughing. Because you guys don't understand, I really was devoted to this. I got clothes, I got books. Until you realize, wait, hold on. All of these historical books that's being given unto the masses only goes as far back to the 1700s. Where is the writings that predates? Where's the writings that was literally written when Enoch was alive? So how did the story of Enoch end up being published, manifested and published, and we can't even trace the writings as far back of when he was alive? Where did Jesus go to school at? Who taught Jesus? Where was his community? What was he doing in his childhood? You see, when I ask those questions, in order for you to give me those answers, you have to give me the story outside of the religious text. You can't use, when the Bible is on trial, you can't use the Bible as a defense. That doesn't make sense. The Bible is evidence that you're supposed to put right here and you leave it there. And now everything that you need to defend this book has to come from scientists, from science, archaeological evidence, DNA substance, it has to add up. So to justify why this book is legit, you can't use the same exact book to justify. That's absurd. You could even do that in real time in the courthouse. But here we are defending something that we can't prove. These Hebrew Israelites don't know what they're talking about. They don't know who they're praying to. They say Yahweh is the God. You don't know Yahweh. Yahweh was a storm deity, bro. His father at the time was El. Israelite stands for Israel stands for Isis, Ra, and El, three deities put together. The three deities that all these nations worship. You guys don't know what you're worshiping, man. This is why I put on this is why I put on this suit. This is why I put on the judgment suit the judges wear. This is why I keep the gavel close by. But it's not even worth me banging the gavel. It's not worth me banging the gavel because you guys will always find the reasoning into why your belief is where it needs to be and why it's the ultimate belief. And I'm not here to break that. I'm just here to show you guys the contradiction, how you guys literally be hypocrites, literally be saying one thing and standing on one thing, but the Bible says another, and some of you guys don't even know that the Bible is saying that. The Bible tells you that this is allegory. The Bible said that this is allegory. Make that make sense. But anyway, that is my time, guys. It was your brother, man, from the motherland. I came to you guys live. Once again, thank you for the likes, the shares, continue supporting. You know my stuff is always going to be shadow banned. Every time you bring the facts, it's going to be shadow banned. This is the new algorithm. We're not, listen, people, I want you guys to understand. And also, before I leave, riddle me this. The Bibles tell you that we will be taking the mark of the beast. Where in the Bibles did it tell us that we will also be interacting and dealing with artificial intelligence? I'll wait for it. Some of you guys don't even know that the book of Revelations was removed over 14 times. Go ahead and do your homework. Yeah. So if you are unable to answer that, then maybe you need to just simmer down and start reading for yourself. Don't read to prove me wrong. Read to prove that your God that you're bowing down to was ever there for you. Ask yourself why God never came down and spoke to you the way he spoke to Moses. Ask how come Jesus never spoke to you the way he spoke to the disciples when he was risen up to the sky. Ask yourself these questions. And if you're unable to, or if you're unconnected, then maybe you're really not living a righteous lifestyle according to the Biblos. So now I'm gonna gracefully bow out. So guys, it's your brother, man, from the motherland. Came to you guys live. As always, like, comment, share, subscribe. And last but not least, guys, always respect your DNA. I am him. Are you dumb or are you dumb? And I'm a holla.